Hello, Ironclad and welcome back to this pre-release look at Rule the Waves 3, where we kicked off with Spain in 1890 and we got ourselves embroiled in our first war, and we are at war with the Germans. And indeed, there is one very important piece of information which I've become acutely aware of since I reloaded the game, and is that we are blockaded. And why, might you ask, we blockaded? Well, the northern part of Spain is part of the Northern Europe Sea Zone in this game. And the current German home fleet is here: 2 Ironclads, 6 heavy cruisers, 10 light cruisers, and 5 corvettes, has a blockade strength of 86. Our current fleet strength is a mere 31, although we do have a number of ships who are not in active service. And it says here, to blockade a country, your minimum needs to be 72, and you must be 110% of enemy strength, which Germany is at the outbreak of this war. So they're currently blocking our nation, which does mean we will start to get growing unrest, and also ultimately is a way that could lead to defeat if we don't do something about it. So our first thing is going to be breaking blockade. But more importantly, it does mean that we do actually share a home sea zone, so there can be lots of opportunity for some naval clashes. Before we get into actually taking actions, there's one other thing I want to mention, and that is on the officer corps. I was doing a little bit of diving around amongst the various save files in between recordings, and I have worked out where they keep the officer names and worked out how you can change it. Actually, it's not particularly difficult. If you can find them, just edit in a text file. And I renamed our Rear Admiral here from, I think it was Ascugara to Cervera, although I noticed we actually now have 2 of them. But the important bit is that if you are interested in becoming an officer of the fleet, then you're welcome to do so. Just put a comment down below. If you want a particular name, reference that. And if you have a particular preference of ship, be it, although not we have particularly good ones in a minute, fire that in as well, and I will more than happily bring you into service. So there we go. Yeah, there's no one particularly quote-unquote good to grab, so I'll just start filling in people as we get them. But yeah, come on in. Okay, right, more importantly, back to the strategic situation. A couple of things we're going to do, of course, is get all our ships who have been in reserve status, which is actually our main battle division, and take them off reserve status. So you can either do it individually or en masse by right-clicking, or you can just hit the big old mobilization button, and that'll get everyone up to fighting strength, although it'll take a couple of months. The other thing I want to do, we do have quite a lot of money, and I actually want to make, I think, some corvettes is what we're going to do, which is an odd choice when you're at war, but really I want to alleviate my kind of heavy cruisers, etc., from its foreign station requirement. It was 12,000, you'll notice it currently says 0, and that's because we're being blockaded. So when you are blockaded, there is no requirement to keep ships on foreign station, which makes sense. You want to bring all your naval power home to defeat that blockade. But that's what roughly we're dealing with, it is about 12,000. So if we quickly go into our ship design, go into our corvette, and we can just click auto design to see what it starts with. Come back. Okay, so here we go. Class name's fine, I'll not play around with that. We would like you to have Colonial service, which will increase the value of their foreign station by, I think it's 25%. I can't remember. I'll double check that. And the displacement, to be honest, we don't need them particularly big. Something like a 600-ton corvette will do nicely. And yeah, speed 16, that's fine. You don't really need guns, and I'm tempted to actually strip a lot of these off just to save on cash more than anything. In fact, if I said no secondaries, how do we feel about that? No tertiaries, how do we feel about that? All I want you to do is be fairly cheap, because you're never actually going to fight. The only thing which is vaguely useful sometimes would be some mine clearance or some anti-submarine warfare bits and bobs, although I doubt we have much in the way of technology for this. What we've got, additional armaments. We can stick some minesweeping gear on it. I can get behind that. Let's drop your main caliber just to a mere 4 inches, and in fact we can just have one pop gun at the front, which will bring us nicely under 600 tons. Good. Everything else I think looks acceptable. Alright, and that'll give us just a very basic ship that can do a lot of good work in foreign stations. So let's just do check design. Oh, I don't think you need it for colonial service for the corvettes. I think they get a natural bonus. I'll tell you what, since we're on a recording and not going live, I can double check this kind of info. Okay, I think I've managed to work out what's going on, and it's a cross wire in the old grey cells, and I've been misremembering or mixing up my low size trade protection corvettes, which I tend to make as small as possible, and my colonial service corvettes, which I would tend to make about the 1600 ton mark, which then indeed you can use colonial service, which indeed does give you an extra 25% weight counting towards foreign service, which means these would count as 2,000 tons. So 6 of these bad boys would give me my 12,000 ton requirement for the Caribbean, for example. So that's what we're after. Again, you don't really want much stuff on them. The aim of the game here is low maintenance costs, and that's kind of it. I don't want them. I mean, they can do a little bit of minesweeping work or ASW work if we had ASW tech, which we don't. But really, that's all they're particularly going to do. So this will do me for now. I'll not worry too much about finessing this to be perfect, but I think this is fine and dandy. Yep, happy. Save and finish. Good. Take me 1 month, excellent, and then we'll build a whole bunch of them. Okay, fandabidozy. Anything else we needed to do? Don't think so. We might get a clash this month. We probably don't particularly want one while our ships are all working up, but we shall see. Oh, there was one other thing I did quickly want to touch upon, which may be a plan for this war beyond just exploring combat in general. And I did notice that when we zoomed in upon the South Pacific and around this recent acquisition, Bougainville, we turn on invasion ranges, we actually have enough to reach the harbour at Simpson Haven. So potentially we could invade it and maybe capture it as part of this war. Now obviously to do that we're going to need some ships. And we don't really have any spare ships at the minute. If we sufficiently smash the Germans in Europe, then I could dispatch even just a heavy cruiser. Or if we build up our corvette fleet quickly enough, we could dispatch some ships over there to get a bit of a presence. We shall see. It's going to require us first and foremost, though, to deal with this blockade. So without further ado, let's hit the next turn. No, who has no commander? The real Famia. You should have a commander. You can be... Who should we give to you? Do we have any reasonable person, since you are a pretty good ship? Good. Montilla, who was recently given the command of the Pedro de Aragon. Congratulations, you have now command of the Real Famia. And we'll just let them autofill somewhere. That's fine. Trade protection. Yeah, that is a bit of a tricky one. Well, we don't have foreign station requirements a minute, so we could put these 3 corvettes onto trade protection, even though they're not really in the right sea zones. And also they no longer. Actually, do they count for foreign station? I can't remember. We'll work that out when we get to it. Oh, one other quick thing I wanted to do is in my preferences, I'm going to give Germany a colour. Obviously, I've given myself yellow. Here we go, Germany. You may have... you can be kind of grey. You're already kind of grey. Did I actually change anything there? That's fine. We'll keep Germany grey. Everyone else can get a nice change of colour. Awesome. Okay, do I need to do anything more with my divisions? Theoretically have 3 other battleships I could put into division, and I've got 4 heavy cruisers I could put in division. Although yeah, okay. It's not really going to mix and match them anyway, because my fleet is so small. There's nothing really to mix and match them with. The only thing it might change is I could get some heavy cruisers and some battleships in the same group. And in fact, actually, probably what I want to do, let's change it up because I do want to make sure my faster, it's going to be a BX division, because I believe, if I remember correctly, you can put heavy cruisers in here, and I believe incorrectly. Start with a heavy cruiser division. Yeah, just heavy cruisers. Maybe it's battle cruisers that can float between the two. Okay, in that case we will get rid of these two divisions. We don't need them. We'll keep our main battle line and we'll call it good enough. Okay. Yep, come in, new captain. Alright, so this is our first battle. So for anyone familiar, this is a battle generator. For any sea zone where you both have active fleets, it can grab any number of engagement types. So you've got kind of, let's see, coastal raids, cruiser clashes, fleet battles, invasions, lots and lots of options. We're currently on par with the Germans. They've got a wee bit more in the way of light cruiser forces. This is really close to their home war is the only thing. But I don't really want to give up 600 VPs day one of the war. So I'm going to hit accept and we'll jump in and we'll see what it is. We may end up running away from this one. See how those volume levels are. Yeah, it might turn them down a scotch. Okay. I think that's just killed entirely. Right, we'll not worry about that. What have we got here? We've got one light cruiser, I think 2 ships. I see. Very much a kind of hit and raid type affair. Yeah, so all we have is the Galicia. There's a max speed of 22 knots. Well, we could try and pick off a few corvettes and things. Now, all the important things to consider is, look, what time of day is it? 7 hours and 40 minutes till dark, so quite a long way away. This feels like a pretty uncomfortable place to be perfectly honest. What do we know about... We should be able to keep pace with the German light cruisers, if not outrun them entirely. So why don't we maybe try and head a little bit due south, see if we run into anything, and if not, just run away. I'm okay taking the kind of VP hit, at least if we give it a go. So let's just run. I do have auto pause if we bump into anyone. We can crank the speed up. Okay, unknown ship. We put the view circles on, which is not radar, torpedo, main gun. Sighting range is good. In fact, main gun's pretty handy as well. There's torpedo, lots of lovely circles. Let's just sail a little bit closer, but not crazy close. We get a view of what this is, just 2 of them. Okay. We think that's a heavy cruiser, so let's steer away from that. Just shift and right click to set a new heading. We can kind of head due south-ish. Another heavy cruiser. Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm just going to leave. Yeah, there you go. A first Bismarck class. Oh, it's gone away again. Yeah, so there's a nice transport ship, which would be a juicy target. A heavy cruiser is not. So let's just hit squad max and sail away. He looks like he's gaining on me. What speed is that? We reckon they're going at 20 knots. We should be going at 22. Indeed, we are going at 22. Just run. Battle of the Colliers. You can keep up steam for longest. Okay, and then let's just crank up speed because nothing interesting really is going to happen. Hopefully nothing interesting is going to happen as we run off into the sunset. And this will go down as a German victory because we didn't hit the objectives of sinking 2 ships. But c'est la vie. Alright, tell you what, I don't think anything more interesting is going to happen in this first battle. So let me probably just cut away and I'll bring you back at the tail end. And there we have it. So they had 4 heavy cruisers and 4 light cruisers in the area. Yeah, that was just a ridiculous engagement. We don't want to get involved in that. So I think a good decision just to turn around and say no. But we do lose the battle, theoretically, because we didn't sink we didn't complete our objective of sinking our ships. So this will unfortunately go down as a loss. But only 246, so half the VP we would have given up had we just said no first time round. Okay, so a few setbacks in bits and pieces. Trade warfare should be nothing going on, partly because we're blockaded and partly because not any subs or anything. Our ally Italy sends a message: if you're not ready to join the war against Germany at this time. Oh. Backstabbers. Give them courage, demand their own reliance. Perhaps we could offer some economic or material help then. I think let's just give them some time. We'll be friendly. We're new in our relationship. Got to play it along a little bit. Okay. Our corvette is ready for construction. Just see that we have now lost the blockaded status because I believe we have more ships on active service. But we do want to build a bunch of these trade corvettes. Now it's going to cost us, I think, 121 a month for 20 months. It's quite a long time. We know we need at least 6 of them for the Caribbean. And we could probably just double that number to give us a nice dozen. That's definitely affordable. And we'll just do auto names. These things are not particularly interesting. Go and get it done. And then that'll deal with our foreign station requirements for just now. Now, good. What we've got going on here. So we now have 7 ironclads, our corvettes and our cruiser force, which brings our blockade strength up to 76. Germany's has actually gone down slightly. We'll have to see where he's off to. So yeah, we're no longer blockaded. We are not far off blockading them, actually. Well, my math says we should be blockading them. 64 plus 10%, which is 6.4, would be 72.4, and we have 76. So not 100% sure why we're not. Okay, convoy attack. We now have lots of ironclads. They outnumber some cruisers. I'm going to accept it because I really want to get, again, location-wise, not great for us. Miles away from our home ports. It's a long way if we get injured. But I really want to get a kind of battle line of my dreadnoughts into play here. Okay, 3 cruisers and hello. Not my pre-made division because I believe Reina Donna Isabella II is our newer dreadnought. No, completely wrong. Oh, okay. It's a bad decision. It's just not all of them. Fine, good. Okay, so we have our ironclads. We're raiding a convoy. It's been maybe not a perfect fit for what happened at the time, convoy raiding. And then we've got a screen of our heavy cruisers. Excellent. I would like to let's get ourselves a bit of a meteor engagement. Let's see if we can't start worrying the Germans a little bit. Our job here is to sink 6 transports. Our cruiser division here should be line abreast because they should be in scouting mode essentially. They are. They're tootling along at 12, which is fine, I think. What's your top speed? Yeah, 18. Everyone's pretty slow at the minute. We've also got a light cruiser here. Their job at the minute is just to screen for our ironclads, which I think is fine. And in fact, I'm just going to stick that on into AI control, and the AI will happily, you see, shown by a triangle, and they'll happily keep nice and close to our battle fleet here. Okay, so we've found nothing. That's my own ships. Let's just run on. And let's head in the general direction where we think there is a convoy. And the problem is, given that we are so slow at the minute, we're not really going to be in a place of being able to run down transports particularly easily. To be honest, I'm more interested in finding some Germans and introducing them to our ironclads. Okay, we're shortage of fuel. We've got 8 hours until dusk, so plenty of time. But we are not finding much. Huh. let's split up our forces a little bit. Aha. Okay, well, let's bring our battle line back over in this direction. We'll have our scouts continue to scout in this direction until we get some visual indication of what we've found. Let's maybe crank our speed up to, a lofty 16. We'll put you, say, 15, just so we close the gap slightly with between our scouting and our main battle line. I think they're close enough. We'll pump that up to 16. Let us go find that ship, wherever it was. Aha, found you again. Okay, find out we are closing in on it. What are you? Okay, we look at this might be the German Ironclads. Now we should outnumber them because I think we only had a handful. Now that we know roughly where you are, I'm going to get you guys to move out of your screen formation and come into line ahead, so get into your own kind of battle line formation. I'm going to have you carve a path slightly to the north, just behind this formation. I don't particularly want you to engage. I mean, RCAs are not going to be rocking much in the way of anything, really. I mean, they're, I can't remember, what, 6,100 tons, something like that. We're pretty light. They do have some torpedoes, though, which is, in this age of sail, is definitely dangerous. You are 4,400 tons. Yeah, heavy cruiser name alone. Well, we're not even their armoured cruisers at this stage. I'm rocking a couple of 7-inch guns. It's not terrible. You guys are similar. But yeah. Which makes sense, because you're probably all the same class. You might not know, you're different. Ah, you have new Pedro de Aragon. Looks like a similar-ish design, though. Okay. So let's run, see if we can't slow them down. Now, the ideal here is really we want to, suppose, worry them a little bit with our cruisers, if we can, to get them to course change and fiddle about a little bit, which will allow us to close the gap with our main battle line. Which we seem to have done, because they've done a turn to the kind of southeast. Although they're now turning back again. They're a bit all over the shop. Here we go, Brandenburg class. We should be able to get a little bit of information on. There we go. A couple of 10-inch turrets just at the front. Okay, interesting. They are pretty vulnerable in the old rear. 7-inch belt. That's really interesting, actually. So actually, with our cruisers, if we kind of came in behind them, it would force them to either sit and soak the damage or do a turn towards, which would then buy us more time for our main battle line to come in. So I'm tempted to come down and threaten them a little bit with a good time. Okay, light cruisers coming in probably to do a bit of a dissuading attack. In fact, their main fleet now is turning to north. I'm guessing this is the kind of transport. They've got a healthy amount of ships in the area. Ooh, battle is joined. So we've fired. We've missed with all our shots. Not unexpected in this time. Okay. Would like to maybe hit them. We've identified some more ships. Oh, this is pretty pitiful gunnery here. We just opened fire, we still missed. Okay, well, we'll keep kind of... oh, we're going to watch their big guns are coming for us now. Let's turn away a little bit, see if we can entice them to follow. Again, buy time for our main battle line to get involved. I want my cruisers to... That's it, bring them this way. Come on, Brandenburgs. I got some friends for you. So the general plan, I think, will be to smack them about the place a little bit with our battle line, and then probably go in for finish off a torpedo with our cruiser. Okay, they're turning away, which means I am going to turn towards. Problem with the all forward firing gun, if you're not being aggressive, it puts you at a bit of a disadvantage. Okay, we're opening fire. I'm surprised they're not firing back. Indeed it does. They've opened fire at us. Our battle line is still chugging in. 16 knots. We're going to try and cut in behind their main fire arc. Again, just make them ask of them the question, what are you going to do about it? I don't think anyone has hit anything yet. Hopefully with our larger ships and more guns, we'll actually get some action. Okay, nice 3-on-1 here. You can see in the log here, everyone's opening fire. Yeah. We're not in the best fire arc yet, but we should end up there shortly, as these guys essentially, well, we don't quite cross their T, but we cross behind them. And you can see here all our ships are opening fire. I mean, the range has got to be pretty good, although the chance of hit is going to be abysmal. Look at the Reina Donna Isabella II. Especially with -2 quality guns, that's poor. So you can see, where's our hit chance? Our hit chance, here you go, 0.57 is pretty rubbish. Why is it so bad? Well, our crew's terrible. Target size? I suppose we are quite small. Fire control's pretty poor. Tech is garbage. There's a whole battle line trying to fire at them, and we're also firing our secondaries, and we're also being fired at, which means, yeah, a chance to hit of 0.5%. So when we launch 200 shells, we should hit once. So, you know, not always ideal. But we should alleviate some of those complaints, especially as they will no longer be able to fire us. Overheating on high revolutions. Really? What's your max speed? What's your max speed? 16. I thought it was 18. Okay. Well, in reality, we need to, yeah, slow down to 14. So we don't overheat the engines. Fine for short amount of time, but not ideal for a long period. This is interesting, but at the same time, it's lots of, well, not hitting very much. And we're going to keep staying behind these friends. Aha! We got hit. You can see here, we've been hit in the superstructure. The little star means it's penetrated the armor. And our funnel has been riddled. First blood to the Germans. Come on, can we hit something? Yay! We hit the Brandenburg with one of our 5-inch guns. Oh, we hit them again, though, with our 5-inch guns. And we hit them again with our 5-inch guns. This is being a bit more profitable. Okay, we'll keep an eye on our heavy cruiser fleets, which should be going after the transports. And we've got our light cruiser just kind of hanging about for just now. Ideally, we'd like to get a little bit of blood in the water and then perhaps engage a little bit. You guys are quite scarily charging towards me. Oh, we're continuing to land some hits though. Are you torpedo charging me with your ironclads? Okay. Well, this is an interesting decision. So right now I can two options. One, I could keep going a straight line. That's probably a bad idea because undoubtedly these things have torpedoes. Yep, 4 submerged torpedo mounts. I could turn away, which is not the worst because we have rear firing turrets as well. And they don't, but I could also turn towards because I have a feeling they're about to turn away. Which would then give me the opportunity to kind of chase them a little bit when they are firing in our rear. I mean, what kind of range are we talking about? Yeah, a couple of 1,000 yards, not far. Our hit chance has gone up quite nicely though, 6% on that. Woo! check out those numbers. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go... what do I want to do now? I would like to turn... not in a line. Ah, there it is. I would like to turn together. We're going to turn towards. Bit of aggression. So you see everyone turns towards. They did not back off. Okay. This is where it all gets really hairy because probably torpedoes are going to start flying. We've got ships all over the place. The Velasco has just had an aft hull hit penetration from a Brandenburg. Yeah, this is... I feel like what's happened is I've called their bluff. And they didn't bluff. I'm going to slow down a little bit because I would quite like them to get out in front of us. Let's just trim a couple of knots off. We are hitting with our 5-inch guns. I'd like to hit something with our main armament. I'm a little worried about, oh dear lord, torpedoes and the like. This is insane. Danger close combat going on right now. We're hitting some Brandenburg again. Whoa! Wow! Point blank broadside from the Fernando VII. Without return. We may end up with a collision here, is the only thing. Something to watch out for. I don't know what the Brandenburg's got by way of casemates. If you show me... Where's the thing? Is this one? There we go, Brandenburg. So I wanted... Yeah, you've got some 9-inch casemates and some 6-inch casemates. So you've definitely got some weaponry. There you go. You see them there, sticking out. Okay. I'm going to get Maglesia off AI control and tell it to come in a little bit more towards the fight. You guys are still going after the Merchant Marine, which I'm happy with. I'm slightly worried about how this is going to end up. Okay. So far, fine. We've hit with Brandenburgs a couple more times. I'm going to, again, pull slightly to the north just to try and get a little bit of separation on the go here. I'm concerned about the Riena Dose in the middle second. Although all the hits are landing on the Brandenburg at the minute. Okay. And then we're going to go due east as we level out. Try and regain our formation again. One engine room hit, that's not good. But we do have our heavy cruisers now are trawling the transports. I think it was 6 is our target, but really we want to sink some military ships. Landing more of our light guns. We're staying out with torpedo range. I'm going to open up the space a little bit. Just in case they have better torpedo tech than I do. Granted, it's still early days, but you never know. Could you maybe not charge me like this? Makes me nervous. Another hit on the Riena Donna Isabella II. Structure flotation is fine. We've been hit 4 times, no torpedoes. I don't think we're flooding or anything. Although interestingly, oh hang on, why is my flagship gone to Fernando II? Turret disabled, fine. No, you look okay. Yeah, this is my flagship division, so I feel okay in saying please fire your torpedoes. Now we did say we're not going to do this for whatchamacallit, all our ships, but I feel vindicated doing it when we control them. So we've got some low speed ones, they're not great. Yeah, maybe we need to get a little bit closer. Let's hold off on that for just now. Okay. Yeah, now I think you've given yourself a pretty prime position for us to hit you with our torpedo. So from the Riena Dose Isabella II at this Brandenburg, I think is the best one. Yeah, high. So there's two settings essentially on your torpedoes, low and high speed. Let's fire that bad boy. Oh, away she goes, and look at them dodge out the way. Nice to see the eyes as nippy as ever at avoiding your torpedoes. No solution. Yeah, we'll give it a go. I don't think anything's going to come of it, but we might as well fire. Well, maybe. Getting more hits out in the Brandenburg class. This is good. That's not a bad torpedo for all my bemoaning about low speed. No bueno. Okay. Right, let's take turn together off. Let's have ourselves a bit of a chase. You're starting to slow down. I wonder if they're starting to suffer a little bit from accumulated damage. Right, let's have a quick check in on our heavy cruisers. They've ravaged one element of transports. Where are the rest of the military ships? Some heavy cruisers there, some light cruisers here. Let's swing back in this direction. Keep our distance. Try and sink some more transports while we've kind of separated and are starting to pick off these ironclads. Okay, I think the Brandenburg's starting to slow. Is this the pre-dawn? Okay, this is it. This is where we have to make our move. Squad max on our light cruiser. You guys stay in close. We're going to try and sink this one Brandenburg class before the dark comes. And then try and escape under dark. How are you guys doing? Yeah, you should be able to sink enough of these. Any ships to worry about? No, light cruisers are fine. So I'm not going to control the torpedoes on this light cruiser, although I could easily do so. And I'm going to rely on them launching themselves, which is mildly terrifying. But this Brandenburg definitely looks like it's slowed down. So it's going to take us, once we're ahead of it, it should be, I'll straighten up a little bit. We have been hit, which is unsurprising. Just keep turning away. Just like that. It knows we're there and keeps wiggling out the way. And this Galicia will not stand up to many hits. Only been hit once though, that's okay. Power through, straight on, max speed. Well, your max speed's been severely impacted by gunnery. Alright, just get out of here. Out the way. We shall have to do it with our main guns. Get out of there, Galicia. Okay. This is how quickly darkness may come. Oh, we could do a run with our heavy cruisers actually. Given they're not exactly particularly heavy cruisers. See if we can't batter these. Alright, now this is a perfect torpedo run. Go on, launch it at someone. And their blooming ironclad spins on a dime. Okay. Got our ironclads come back down. We've got our armoured cruisers. We'll bring you down just in case. Don't want to go home without a prize. This is my prize. Come on. Oh, you guys are infuriating. She's pretty much dead in the war at this stage. Okay. Fernando VII is launching torpedoes. There we go. Good lad. Didn't even have to give you the command to do so. Brilliant. So that, I mean, these are not big ships. Torpedoes are pretty dangerous at this stage of naval warfare. Yeah, dead in the war. That is a dead ship. Excellent. Then it's just a case of how greedy we get. We never did sink enough transports. But having taken a Ironclad, that's going to be the victory. And yeah, they won't even be firing back right now. Which is pretty good. Our sight range is abysmal. Galicia's launching. Oh, okay, you're just firing at a dead horse. Logging a dead horse. Which, unfortunately, that enemy ship is going to be this one up here, which is already dead. I want to stay behind you. Yeah, we may be on to nothing here. Yeah, well, at least we've got some identification. But a whole lot of not hitting. Yeah. We may just have to let them go away. Okay. Let's pull off, call that job done. Let's not get too ridiculous. Excellent. Go home, victory in the bag. 1 up over Germany. So obviously this is very, very early combat. Yeah, hit chances very low, gunnery skills very low, technology is terrible. In later combat, obviously they're much more lethal gunnery. That's what's interesting, the way it develops over time. And no, we'll just slow down. See, we have 1,000 minutes of total game time before the scenario should end. Then we can all go home. Huzzah! So we had a couple of damage on our Ironclads, bit of damage on heavy cruisers, quite a lot of damage on a light cruiser, and we sunk one of theirs, and yeah, heavy damage. I wonder how close to sinking it was. So we go 9,781 points, although we lose a little bit because of the surviving merchants, because we didn't sink them. I didn't sink 6, we don't get points for that. But we still win overall because the Ironclad is worth a lot more detail, a lot more points. Let's go to the whatchamacallit, ship details. Let's have a look at you. Oh, do you know what? It wasn't far away. It was flooding, it had some flotation damage. And they had no torpedoes left because we destroyed them. Maybe we should have pressed advantage. Okay. And then the Weisenberg here, which was indeed sunk. 27 hits, 2 of our main armament, and 2 torpedoes. And down she went. Excellent. A good day at sea. Wow, we only got a minor victory for it. Surprising, but it does not put us in the lead, actually. Hey, come on in, Italy. But it does chip away at the ships available to Germany, and now, well, now nothing, because now we don't have enough strength to be blockading. Because we don't meet the minimum 72 requirements, because our damaged ships are currently being repaired. Which, you know, seems fair enough. Okay, we have an enemy coastal raid. Yeah, I'm going to say yes, this one. I wonder if they'll join. Indeed they will. Right, but we're saying about 45 minutes, so we're going to have to leave things where they are and come back to defend our coastline next time. I don't know, I think this might be a non-event, to be honest. Are they really going to come and tussle against four of our Ironclads? But we shall see. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of look at the actual combat side of things. Again, it's always lots of shots, not much hitting at this stage in the war. Or at this stage in the timeline, I should say, rather than the war. But I'm pleased with the result we managed to grind out, and hopefully we're on our way to picking up a few more places in the sun as part of Spain. Oh, and as a reminder, if you are interested in becoming an officer, leave your details down below. Pick an officer name, pick a ship class you'd like to be in charge of, and I'm sure we can find a spot for you in the Navy. Until then, I'll catch you later. Cheerio!